If you are manifesting your specific person and they have become cold or hot and cold, then let's talk about it and fix it once and for all. In this video, I want to share with you 3 things that you should absolutely not do if you are in this situation, even if you want to, and I will explain why. And of course, I will give you 3 things to do to change this situation and manifest something better. One of those 3 things is sort of optional, I will explain, but there are 2 things that you need to do in order to not stay, first of all, in this situation and manifest more of it, and also, more importantly, change it and make it last. If you need a more personalized help with your manifestation, you can of course book a one-on-one coaching session with me from the link in the description box below. I would love to help you with anything that you are manifesting. Check out the links for my courses. Also, I have an SP course that focuses on lasting results and changing the story in a way that is deeper and more permanent. The course is not a quick fix for receiving a text or anything like that. It works with your general limiting beliefs, your specific limiting beliefs, self-concept. We work with different techniques, and I also give you a plan. So if you are manifesting an actual lasting relationship with your specific person and you need help with that, that course is something that you can check out. Otherwise, if you want to join my group coaching, which is another way of experiencing coaching, please send me an email and let's talk about it. So, SP, who is acting cold or hot and cold. The first thing I would suggest you not do in any case, and many people will want to do this, is to try to talk to them. Even though this is a very logical thing, they do something, you talk about it, you solve the situation. This is what we have learned, right? In manifestation, it doesn't work. Actually, everything is a manifestation. In general, it doesn't work. How many times have you not had the same conversation around the same problem with the same person or different people? The reason this doesn't work is, first of all, it's 3D manipulation. It's working with the surface. And even if it gives you some result, it's not going to be lasting. It's going to be temporary. The reason why is no matter what you do in the 3D, and also no matter what happened in the 3D, your assumptions matter. You can do anything you want in the 3D. If you have opposing assumptions to that, at some point your assumptions will kick in and manifest anyway. So even if you talk it out, even if they take it really well, even if they accept what you are saying, if you don't change your assumptions, that conversation is going to be useless because your assumptions will end up manifesting anyway. Another thing I would suggest you absolutely not do in any case, again, another thing that many people do is to complain about it to your friends or family or whoever you are talking to about this. The reason for this is talking about the problem is just like affirming the problem out loud. The more you talk about it, the more you reinforce that belief that this is the case, this is the reality, this is the situation. And what does your subconscious mind do? It takes it in and says, okay, that is the situation. More of that for you then. Apart from that, your friends who you are talking to are you pushed out. So they are going to reflect back to you your own assumptions about this whole situation and about your specific person. And again, reinforce that negative story that you don't want more of. So what this does in simple terms is that it just reinforces the story and your assumptions and just manifests more of it. You are not going to solve the problem by talking to your friends. Because again, I feel like I want to repeat this. Your friends are you pushed out. They are not going to give you solutions. They are going to give you your own assumptions. And the third thing I would suggest to absolutely not do, this is something that you really need to pay attention to, is to focus it in your mind. You're alone, by yourself, or you're working, or you're doing whatever you're doing during your day, and in your mind, you could continue focusing on the problem. Maybe you're complaining it to yourself, or you're complaining it to someone in your mind. This is, again, simply just affirming the problem. The more you focus on the problem, the more your mind is going to take that as your current reality and manifest more of it. So, and also the more you focus on the problem, the more it's going to feel real. And the more it feels real, the more it manifests. So these are all things that are going to manifest more of the problem that you are trying to change. So what to do instead? The first thing to do or not to do, the first thing on your to-do list with this is to avoid all conversation about it. And the reason I'm mentioning here is I have clients who often ask me, but my friends know the situation, they keep asking me how it's going, what to do, how do I avoid a conversation? You can do it in different ways. You know how you talk to your friends, you know how your friendships are. Something that I often suggest is to keep it short. First of all, you don't start it yourself. Don't ever start the conversation on this topic. And if they start the conversation, they ask you how it's going, are they still cold, are they still not talking, is it still hot and cold, and whatever they may ask you. Something that I suggest you answer is, I'll tell you when there's news. I don't really have anything new to tell you, so I'll tell you whenever there's news. If they keep asking, you keep repeating this. There's nothing to talk about, really. I will tell you when there's news. In this case, you don't start the conversation, you don't focus on it, and you also sort of make it quite boring. And if you can change the conversation, ask them about something else, bring the conversation into another direction. It is important, just like I said before, to not talk about it, because this is just unnecessary focus on the problem. The second thing I suggest you do, and this is the one that is sort of optional, you don't have to do this to solve the problem, but it is a great help, and this is a very overlooked technique, which is revision. Revise the trigger that started this behavior, if there was any. Maybe, and then again, another reason this is optional, maybe there wasn't a specific trigger. Maybe your conversation, your contact with a specific person just died out. It just went gradual. But for some cases, something happens, an argument, some situation in the 3D that triggers cold behavior or hot and cold. So if there is a trigger, if you know that this happened and that created this undesired situation, you can revise that. Revision can be done through affirmations, through visualizations, through however it happened. You just change the story, the way it happened, and you persist in this until it hardens into fact, to quote Neville Goddard. But if you don't want to revise, and again, another reason I say this is optional, some people get really, really triggered when they are trying to revise something uncomfortable that happened in the past. The past can be 5 minutes ago, it can be 50 years ago, it doesn't matter for manifestation. So if you don't get triggered, if you actually want to try revision and you have a trigger moment that this happened, highly recommend this technique. Otherwise, if you don't want to do it or you don't really know how to do it, don't worry, you can still solve the problem. So the third thing that I would suggest you do, and this is absolutely mandatory, if you want to change the situation, this is a non-negotiable, not optional step, which is simply to change the current story. All those things that we said in the beginning of the video to not do, don't talk about it, don't complain about it, don't focus on it in your mind, don't complain about it in your mind. Change the story, because you are going to think about it and you are going to think about your specific person. You're not going to stop thinking about someone that you want. It's just important what you think when you think about them or think of them. So you change the story. They are not cold and they are not hot and cold. They are hot and they talk to you and they love talking to you and you enjoy the conversations. Your conversations are forever flowing. You have beautiful conversations every day and they text you, they call you, they talk to you, they're interested in you, they want to know how you are. All these things, use them as affirmations. Take those sentences that I just said and use them as affirmations and you focus on that. That is now your reality. That is now what you focus on. Because whatever you are manifesting, whatever happened in the 3D is far less important than what you focus on. So this should be a huge relief. That they could have said anything, they could have done anything. If you change that story in your mind and you stay with it, that has to reflect back to you from your physical reality, from your 3D, and your person is you pushed out and they are part of your 3D, sort of, but also not, because there's no separation. They are not separate from you. What this means is that they can only behave the way you assume. This is why I said in the beginning that you don't have to talk about it. Don't have the conversation. What you assume is what will manifest. So do this. And don't focus on the problem, always focus on the solution, persist in that, and that has to harden into fact. It has to manifest simply because that is how the law of assumption works. I hope this was helpful. Once again, if you need a more personalized help with your manifestations, you can, of course, book a one-on-one coaching session with me from the link in the description box below. Check out my SP course, which is called Manifest the Relationship of Your Dreams with Your Specific Person. I have included everything that you actually need to know about manifesting a specific person, so that is a great help if you're manifesting a specific person. Have a beautiful day and see you in the next video.